Okay, so shall we? Let's see. Let's do what. Let me see if I can do it as well as Adam does. He does it very dramatically. He's like, and ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the Get Reelisms podcast. I am Christine Chen, and my co-host is not here. So my co-host today is also my guest, Diana Rose.
Hi.
Diana. Yes,
Hi, I'm Diana Rose.
Yes, there she is. So Diana, who are you? Why are you here? And why are you important?
Oh, wow. We're getting existential.
We're going in.
Well, my therapist says that I'm Diana Rose.
This is a public therapy session, FYI.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm Diana Rose, and I play Ari Paloverde in Erzulie.
Awesome.
Among other things.
So before we were starting, I think our conversation was why men are important. And this kind of goes in line with a lot of things that have been happening, plus the gross story that I told you I was going to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So as you know, I have moved officially to Los Angeles.
Aw, yay and boo. But yay.
But to Van Nuys. And it's been great because I've gotten to unpack many things that I didn't realize I had and everything. And it's a house and we have a separate garage attached to it. And that's important because I am rooming with our makeup artist for Erzulie, actually, Roxy.
Yeah, Roxy.
Yes. And what's great is
Roxy.
that she comes with a husband.
Yeah. And they're useful.
They're very useful. So case in point, I left my car in our garage, which is separate from the house. So that's important, for about a month because I was doing a project in Shreveport, Louisiana. Because of course, when you move to LA, you don't actually work there. You work everywhere.
You'll get a gig everywhere else. Yeah.
And I come back and I sit in my car. This is after hauling all my U-Haul shit, here to Los Angeles. And I finally sit in my car for the first time and I'm looking around. I'm like, why is my car trashed? And I'm like, did I know Roxy and Casey well enough to know that they wouldn't do this? And then my eyes trace and notice the Crafty granola bar box has a chewed up hole in it.
Oh no.
And then I look around and see the rat poop.
Oh no. Was it in your car?
All over. It was all in my car.
Was the rat in your car?
The rat was not in the car, but
my gosh.
But I had to have Casey come out. He came out with a flashlight and gloves and stuff and was like, and I was waiting for the rat to like jump out, And he was like, he looked through everything and whatnot. And I was like, so this is where a temporary husband, a rent-a-husband actually helps out quite a lot. And yes, he went in and did his like manly thing and looked through everything. And I was like, thank you, God. Yes, well, round 2 this morning, this is what I was dealing with. I go out, I've become a rat trap expert. I know exactly where they are in which section. I know from which door I can enter in from Home Depot to access them as quick as possible. And so we set some rat traps, which is never done in my entire life. And we did a lot of research about why we had to do certain rat traps. And yes, it'd be nice to make them a humane blah, but at this point it's like, no. So there is one this morning.
Oh no.
And I'm like, it is, I kid you not, this big. It is so big. It is bigger than my iPhone, like twice the size as the iPhone. It's a city rat. It's in New York. It was very...
No, that is not New York rat.
Yeah.
New York rat is the size of your cat.
It was so big though. Oh. And Casey had to come and make sure that it...
Give it a proper burial?
Yes, proper death. So, yeah. So, and then I got in my car and I was like, shit, guys, there's like poop everywhere again. So that's what so before, as I was like rushing to the podcast, I had to go vacuum some rat poop out of my car.
Oh, lovely.
It's
so
lovely.
Hopefully this is a step up in your day.
Step up. Cleaning. Christina has a rat problem in her car. So yes, this is a very much a step up to interview and have an in-depth conversation with one of my favorite people in the world.
No, thank you.
Yes.
You too.
So hi, Chad.
Hi.
And so I think the biggest thing I wanted to ask is, in the moment, there's not much time to process really anything. How is the wiring? Oh, rats love wires. Thank God. To my knowledge, the rats didn't get to the wires. But let's knock on wood and hope that will remain the case. But I will no longer park in the garage until an exterminator comes.
Yeah.
So,
probably good call.
Yes. Rat party. It's kind of funny, actually. Sorry, going back to that. I swear we will get away from the rats, but the first time that they came in, I had NyQuil as well. They ate that.
What?
So they totally threw a rager. The rats
rats partying.
The rats had food. The rats had drugs. The rats had water, because I had water bottles. They were so clever. I'm like really, really impressed. They chewed little holes into the water bottle so that the water still remained in the water.
That's clever.
It's extremely clever. And then they drank the water from the water bottle.
Yeah. Well, and they probably invited all their friends.
They totally invited all their friends.
This chick.
They're like,
has everything we could ever want.
We have the coolest pad right now. It's clean. We're gonna like fuck this shit up and like poop everywhere and like it was gross. Yes. So anyway,
well, fun.
Back to Diana. So when you heard about the film, do you remember when you heard about Erzulie?
Yeah, because we well, you just kind of threw it out. You were just like, I think we were texting at the time, and we had been working on a different feature that got pushed because of COVID.
Yes. En route. Yes.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm almost done with the script. I'm like, what script? And you're like, the feature. And you told me about it, and you said you want me to read for it, and I would do anything for you. So you mentioned it, and then I think it was so fast.
Yeah.
And I never want to like tone anything down when someone's excited about something, but you were like, yeah, we're going to get it out. We're going to shoot like in the spring. I was like, a feature? Like the script's not done and you're going to, okay.
You're like,
you can do it. If anyone can do
December. Yeah.
Well, it was before that, because when did you come and we went on the tree? Do you remember that?
Was it November?
I think it was November. Okay. I was looking at my photos.
Yeah, I think maybe November, because I was in Hawaii in December, and that's when we were like halfway done, and our goal was to finish it. Camille and I had a month basically to finish it from start to to have a complete rough draft. And so we finished it literally December 31st. And stuff like that. Like, we're shooting it. Yeah. You're like,
we're going for it.
We're doing it. Yeah. So, okay. That's like such my style though. Cause I believe the first time I ever met you and pitched you a project, it was random as well. So it was I will always remember that. New Year's 2016, right? New Year's 2016.
Yeah. So you had, I don't know if you remember this, you had messaged me before just on Facebook, I think. And you were just like, hey, you speak Arabic, right? And I was like, yeah, which, like
there was like no hi, how are you?
Yeah, just
like,
no.
You speak Arabic, right, bitch? Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And you're like, okay, I have something in mind. And I was like, okay. And I'd been dying to work with you at this point because I knew of you, and Daryl, my husband, had worked with you, and I'd seen some of your shorts. And as soon as I see something by a writer-director that I like their name goes on a list, I was like, I got to work with them. And you were on the top of that list. So when you came to my house for Daryl's birthday party in December.
Yes. And that's when I officially met you. Yeah. And then we went out.
We hung out. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we went out for New Year's, and I was like, hey,
yeah,
like, we're going to make it.
I was like, okay, I'm in. And that was that movie was such a turning point in my career. So
But there was a
for our
turning
friendship,
point.
but
That was a turning point for a lot of our careers. Definitely for mine. For me, it was like I think really 2 years before that, I had been watching the Oscar shorts that Shorts TV puts on at the theater, and watching it being like, oh, like it looks so far away, like I'm never gonna ever be there. And then to fast forward and go through that whole academy process and learn about the academy qualifications, and I'm like, holy shit, we're not that far away from that. Like it was surreal. And then us going to like the big festivals, like New Orleans Film Festival and all sorts of stuff. Like that was one of the best. That was 2 years, because when we made it, it was 2016, right?
16, yeah.
But it came out prematurely in 2017. But then
for the film prize, it was that year, 2016. Yes. Then you revamped it the way you
revamped it. Yes, that was it. So, but we did. We revamped it and shot a new scene in it, a few. And then recut it, and then re-entered into the world. And then it was yet another year of like festivals and stuff like that.
Because New Orleans was like October 2017. Yeah, because I was waddling. So I remember that clearly.
Crazy. Yeah. So
I didn't even know, might be embarrassing to admit, but I didn't even know, I never really paid attention to Oscar shorts, that like shorts could be Oscar qualified and nominated. Yeah. Like, I think you vaguely, like you hear it when the thing is going on, but I'm like, watching the main stuff, and it just didn't occur to me until you were like, well, we're going for it. We're like qualified. I was like, what? Like, and so that was cool because it felt so far away. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I think that was a kid.
But I think that's the exciting part, is like when you've felt so far away from something, yet that gap is closing slowly. I wish it would close a lot faster, but I guess I understand that it's a process. But that was like, we were so close. And it's just neat that like now we're at a place where we can say, hey, we have a date. It's not like, for the people who care to be on our podcast, you guys get to know first, but we have a date of our release. We were going to make it a whole big thing. Yes. Okay, we got to drum roll it.
Okay. All right.
And
June 14th.
Yay! So our film has a release date of June 14th, but we're going to do an official public announcement. All you suckers who don't listen to our podcast live, you don't even know. June 14th is when our film is officially coming out, and we're really
thank you.
So it'll be on video on demand and everything, and then we're in Erzulie style. We're going to have a month of parting, basically, to bring in our Erzulie baby. It's our baby shower of all baby showers. So, yes. So for those listening, the first week of May is going to be in Texas. We are planning events in Austin, San Marcos, and hopefully Dallas as well. We're still hearing back from people. The second week of May will be in Louisiana. We will have events in Shreveport for sure, May 13th, hopefully. And then as well as New Orleans and possibly Baton Rouge. Our friend Megan Colvin is helping us out on finding some cool spots. And also, if you happen to be at any of these areas and you're like, oh my gosh, like there's a big mermaid community, or we would love to have your film there, feel free to DM me and let me know, because I just don't have contacts in a lot of these locations, and I don't know if this is something that people would be interested in. So, I mean, it's a feminist killer swamp mermaid film. Who wouldn't be interested in it? But like, playing it safe and stuff. So, and then the third week, this is the most exciting one. We may be partnering up with a mermaid con that's coming to California.
I didn't know that.
In Sacramento in the third week of May. So that's going to be so badass. We're working out the details right now as to what that looks like. But yeah, Sacramento. And then the fourth week, we're working on Los Angeles. So, and then I think we're looking into, it will be after the release, but July, there's another mermaid con in Florida as well. And there's also one in Coney Island in New York. So yeah, there's lots of things in place right now.
Awesome. We have peeps in Florida.
Yeah, good.
Mermaid good. See Erzulie.
Yeah, and then there's another one that I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but apparently, mermaids are pretty big. Also, I mean, mermaids are big everywhere, but there's this part in Virginia, apparently, that has a pretty decent mermaid community because I know, because the people who make the fins are in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fin folks or whatever. Yeah, so yay! So it's exciting. Thank you, Terry. We appreciate it. I know Diana's super hot. So, but yeah, no, I was just so happy when you considered auditioning for it. And we had talked so much about having a film that would reflect female superhero, heroes type thing. And this from the last interview with Zoe, she actually mentioned that there aren't that many films that have strong female relationship bond type stuff, and it's not, at least not being shot by Austin filmmakers or really in the indie world.
Not enough, for sure.
Not enough, yeah. And she was really excited to be able to be a part of that. So, tell me about the character of Ari. Are you like her or
no? Ari is one of the hardest characters I've had to wrap my head around because we're so different. Ari is party hard and don't worry about anything. Like she wants to just numb down whatever she's feeling. She doesn't want to deal with anything so that she can and she does that in different ways, with drinking, with drugs, with partying, with sex, with like anything except feeling what she's feeling. And and I'm so not a party girl. Like I start getting tipsy. I'm like, okay, I'm out. And what was really cool was you had me audition for 3 of the 4 girls.
Yes.
And I loved Ari right away. I really she's so cool, but it wasn't the one I necessarily immediately. You connect with characters in different ways. And there's something that once it hooks, everything kind of falls into place. And she took me the longest to hook into, because I got her, I understood some things and I liked her, but she wasn't in me coming out yet. It was still outside coming in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until and I like how you said you appreciate that I auditioned, because of course I'll audition for you. But this is a secret. Most people won't know. I almost didn't even get cast. Something was just kept missing with Ari. And it got to the point where I think I was on my 3rd tape for Ari, and you loved some of my other auditions and some of the producers did, but Ari was missing something. And it got to the point right before I sent the last tape where I was like, okay, one of my best friends might be doing a female empowerment friendship film about mermaids without me. And I have to be okay with that. And I can't kill myself about it. So I had to come to Jesus about it. And then that night when I was getting ready, it just finally clicked. And I was like, I think what it is Ari would rather hi, Kelly. It says cat. She'd rather cut off her arm than show feelings.
Yeah.
And feelings come to me, Diana, very easily, which is helpful with my work. But something about that realization of I cannot let it be accessible. I cannot, it's as soon as I feel something, I have to do something to numb it down, I think is when it finally clicked. So, but
yeah, it's
I'm glad it worked out.
Because the A for Ari stands for
Avoidance.
So yeah. So what's interesting, what was really fun and deliberate actually, when you watch the films, is that every character represents a way that we choose to process trauma or just really any sort of hardship. So A, Ari, is avoidance. F, Faye, is fear. And Zoe was the one who played Faye, who interviewed last week. And then we've got W for wisdom, Wendy, which is very logical way of processing something, less emotional, more logical. Courtney Williams, who plays Wendy, will be interviewing with us next week. And then finally, V is vengeance, and for Violet. And she's like I'm going to go punch a person and slap a bitch, type of thing. So that's how Violet deals with trauma. It's just, she wants to get even and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
it's funny. You all posted on the Instagram, like, which of the girls are you like? Right? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember that.
It's like I'm Wendy with some Faye and Violet. Like Diana is like the other three.
Yeah,
mostly before Ari. So, but I love Ari.
I think I said I was pretty sure I was a Wendy Violet maybe combo. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. So that was a fun little exercise, but it is very interesting how I don't think any of you really identified with your particular character, which is really fun. That you guys
know it.
Yeah, fun to play stuff. So what was it like, the experience, and what's your prep process like for roles in general?
Well, I try to sit down with my script, like in an isolated place with no distractions. And it's really just about creating the world and making it as real as possible. So, based on what's there, and then just filling in the blanks, like, who am I talking to? How long have I known them? When did I meet them? And filling in things like about the relationship. So for example, with Ari, it's important to know what her trauma is and her past. So I have to go back and make up the whole history of like who Benny is and my grandma, and why we were with my grandma to begin with, and what happened and how did it lead to that. And then I have to think about Faye and Violet and Wendy, who are the other most important people to me in this world and in general. How did I meet them? What's our relationship like? What do I call them for? Like filling it in to where it's real. It's not just, like I know their favorite colors. I know their past. What do I know about them? What don't I know that's revealed? And just sitting there for, 1 to 2 to more hours a day as it gets closer, depending on how much time I have to prep for a role, and just filling in those details as much as possible, the history, all of it. And then it just kind of comes out and you get to say it and figure out how you feel about it, because I've done all the work leading up to it. So. I
think that's what is beautiful about your performance. And so many people talk about this, is the in between the lines, right? The layering. And I noticed this so much just working with you in Yalbi, because I realized by the questions that you would ask me, how well thought out you had about how the character would react and say certain things, to the point where I made writing and directing decisions based off of the feedback that you gave as your character. And I think that's the beauty of, that's why I love you made me love rehearsal because of that. Like that is the beauty of that relationship between the director and the actor, is like, you get to really be and embody everything about the character. And I mean, I'm the whole world, right? And I can lose sight of those details when I'm writing or directing and stuff. And so I think that is the mark of a great actor, is somebody who goes in and does that work so that it feels like a somebody of depth. There's so many things that we're affected by that subconsciously that affect our decisions that we never have to talk about, but it affects the way we react to things.
Yeah.
And so that's what I find was so beautiful, is that you are so aware of how those things affect you. And so you'll ask me stuff where sometimes I'm like, I don't care what she eats, but then I'm like, okay, I guess that does affect things kind of, but I think one of the things is that everybody kept saying the friendship is so real. So tell me a little bit about that, because you guys totally just bonded. I felt like to give you guys context, the girls move into a cabin on the site. And in reality, I also made some of them live together in this cabin as well. So here's something, and I wondered if it helped you, because your character is slightly separated sometimes, right, from them. But so Diana did not stay at the cabin, but she could go and come and go as she pleased.
Sometimes they found me on the couch.
So how did that affect your performance, or inspire or help?
Well, first, to speak about the friendship, I think, kudos to how it's written, because it's all in there, how close we are and how we care for each other. But we did get so lucky with how everyone was cast. And I think the rehearsal process helped. You don't always get that in film. So the fact that we did get to kind of talk to each other a bit leading up to it, and with you and Camille, and ask questions leading up to it. And then just the fact that we were basically at camp, like we're on location. So we loaded into this place and we had a few days. Some of us that were there a week before we started filming. We're just spending time together. Like, everyone's super cool. So yeah, of course we bonded. We got really lucky. I'm so in love with those girls. My daughter still talks about them, like Courtney and Elizabeth and Zoe and Layla. And it was just so fun. Like, you don't get that often. You don't get that time that often. And to what Zoe said, I love guys, like this isn't but like in this industry, you really don't very often get several strong female roles interacting with each other. And they're all dynamic and interesting and complicated and real. And I think, we had the time to sit together and talk and figure things out together. And I think that's what everyone is seeing is we did have a bond.
We had time.
Connect. We are friends.
And that was by design. It was really important for you guys to have that time. I mean, like we were in freaking film camp together. So like when we say we had time, we would wake up together, we would work out together, we would eat together, we would party together, we would have long conversations with each other and everything. So like you develop that's very hard to fake, I think. Just that connection and that friendship and whatnot. You guys are friends. So
yeah, I mean, we're still in a group chat together that we regularly like talk to each other. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for those girls and this opportunity. And about the experience, it was just really cool. So the other three girls were in Picture Cabin together. And I have to thank the producers and you for letting me, well, my husband helps produce too and was useful, but like letting me bring my family. So we had a separate cabin to ourselves, but it was cool because Ari does do what she wants and wouldn't necessarily, like even in the world of Erzulie, Ari like sleeps on the couch. So because I wouldn't be cooped up with the girls up there. And maybe I'd hang out with Wendy for a bit, but then I'd like sneak out, which happened in real life too. Like one of the nights I was in there with Courtney and then it's like, she falls asleep. And after a few hours, I'm like ducking out. But yeah, that helped me connect with her too. Like something about just coming in and out whenever I wanted. They don't know if I'm there. They don't know if I'll be there later. It was kind of fun, but there was so much freedom. Ari's so free. And I love that. Not that I'm trapped, but I'm, she like, she doesn't need to check in with anyone about
She's
anything.
a bag in the wind. That's what she is. She floats
Yeah.
around where she goes, where she feels it's right for her at that moment.
And if it's not right, she's moving on.
She's out.
Like,
yeah.
So
yeah. I guess now that it's talking about, I'm like, I'm a little bit of Ari, actually.
I was gonna say, but I didn't want to like put you on the
you're
spot
right.
like
I am definitely just I'm a little bit like that. I'm floating around and trying to, no, you're right.
Like you work so hard, but when you're done working, you know how to have fun too.
Yes. So question, are you somebody who prefers rehearsal? I'm really interested. I started listening to this podcast called the DGA podcast, which is great.
Cool.
And they talk about the rehearsal process, and it seems to be a 50-50 split. Some people really love rehearsals and some directors are like, no, not at all. How are you when it comes to rehearsals? Do you prefer it or?
Well, it's funny you ask. I can go either way. And it really depends on the director and what we're doing in the rehearsal. Like if we're just getting together to like recite lines, I don't super love that. Like it's not, because to me, that's not even how I approach my work, like lines. Like I'm classically trained in like Shakespeare, like I'll hit every line you ask me to, but it's not about like saying the line over and over.
Right.
It's about the relationship and why am I saying this? And if you said it different, like how would I react? And so I think rehearsals are great for relationship building and bonding and times for questions and to make sure that like we are all on the same page, that we know your vision as the director, like what are you trying to get here? Because maybe I'm thinking something different. And so to make sure I got your vision in my head and that I understand everything that I'm supposed to do, and that like other questions from other actors like might inform what I know and what I do. So I like it in terms of that and in terms of the bonding time. But I'm I can understand why some people would be hesitant for a lot of rehearsal, because I'm not a fan of like rote, like, you know, hello, how are you? I'm good.
Yeah, it's not a play. Right. Yeah. I like, for me, it's like I like a hybrid. It's like, for me, storyboarding, right? I'm going to storyboard, but whether or not I choose to stick to the storyboards on the day of is up into, it depends on when I'm inspired.
Film gods. Yeah,
exactly. But at least I think more of it, it's that we've thought it through, right? And for me, simply the fact that we did our homework and thought it through is enough to put us just slightly above in terms of preparation.
For sure.
To give us the flexibility to stray away.
Make changes. Yeah.
Exactly. It's easier to pivot when you already had a plan and like have already made plans for that plan. So yeah, I think that was that's very interesting what you said. And for us, we're so lucky to be able to be on the actual property at every single location that we were going to shoot in. And so blocking it was very important. But again, on the day,
where's the river today?
Where is the river? I know. So that's a good segue. What was the hardest thing you had to experience on the set as Ari?
You know, I have got to say that honestly, you guys ran such a nice set for the actors, at least. I know crew was like going hard on a lot of days, but I'm so happy when I'm on set, Christine. Like that's the happiest, like set and the beach. Like I'm a different Diana. So I loved everything. The hardest thing, I think there was one night when we got pushed, the girls in the woods, like after Faye, and we're supposed to like we're hiding from Pierce. I'm not giving away spoilers.
Oh yeah.
I think it got pushed. So it's just like waiting for like hours and hours, and then it's like overnight basically. And then but that's typical set. Like, I mean, it's not typical for your sets, I have to say. Usually like things run pretty like straightforward. So, but we knew, you know, something was happening and you had to do what you had to do. And, but even that, like how tired we were and how cold it was. And like in the middle of these like bamboo forests, all the mosquitoes, and we're wet and dirty. We had so much fun with it. Like I was just looking at videos, reminiscing about the time. And there's a video of us girls in the car afterwards, like soaked and dirty and like, and we're just like, and it's like 4 a.m. and we're like laughing and so happy. And, you know, so like the worst of it still wasn't too bad. The stunts, because of the river changing, I guess that was the most stressful part, but the stress was mostly on you all figuring out how we're going to do it. We knew we were in good hands, so that when it came time, like on the day, it'll be fine. You'll tell us what to do. We'll do it. It'll be fine. And the very last shot we got, like in the finale, it's like we'd been waiting. I'm falling asleep in the van and I just hear the other girls screaming, and then it's like, okay, it's your turn, go. We got to beat sunrise. And it's like, let me think if this is a spoiler. I don't think it's a spoiler, but it's basically like I just woke up and it's like, run, go there. And it's like, fling yourself into the water, backwards in the dark, into the water, and then drown. So it's like, no questions. There was no, you know, usually there's time if something, it's like, nope, just go, action, go.
Yes.
But I love it. Like, I love it. So.
How have you done a lot of stunts prior to this film?
I love stunts. I love action so much. It's actually what I want to do more of. And the first time I fell in love with it, it was on another independent project, and it was probably something that I shouldn't talk about, but I will, because I think I did before and it's okay. But I got hit by a car and we didn't know how we were going to do it. Like it just says like Emma gets hit by a car. And it's like, we're shooting that tonight. And it's like, what are we doing? It's like, we're going to go out there and we're going to
hit you with the car.
Hit you with the car.
No big deal, right?
And they were going to just like do it really slow to where like I get hit and like roll on the top and then cut and then put me on top and I'm going to roll off and then just like in segments. Well, the way this car was like that perfect angle of the windshield. So I'm in heels, of course, a cocktail dress and heels. Because why not? Yeah. And the car comes and it's the first take and it hits me and I roll and I'm able to roll myself all the way over the car and all the way around. So I go for it because I'm like, heck yeah, I can do it. And I go and they catch me at the end and everyone's screaming. So I'm so excited because I like rolled, like we don't need as many takes, right? I did it. And they freaked out because they thought I really got hit by the car and they didn't get the shot because the camera, like they were like, shot hit by the car. I got hit like 17 more times and I had to soak in a bath for like 3 days. And I have loved action ever since. Like I loved it. It's so fun. I'm doing an action short coming up where I play an ex-assassin in Leverage. I'm really excited about that. And, but yeah, not as much as I would hope. I did a feature in Humanity where we had some action stuff, but again, this was coordinated. This was like legit with like, you know, stunt coordinators and lines and stuff. But yeah, I'll do anything for this shot and I love it. So
yes. Yeah, the stunt work is, I'm trying to think. I did a little bit of stunts on Shakespeare on the Range, but that was to the extent of stunt work. And this had so many other elements in it,
and
safety elements. And so that to me I was on high stress the whole entire freaking shoot. I don't think it ever stopped.
Oh, I know.
And it was mainly just like I want you guys, I'm an empath and I wanted you guys to be happy, even though you guys were under such difficult environmental conditions. And I also wanted you to be 100% safe and not ever feel like you weren't. And so all that plus having to do everything else like was a lot, but it makes me so happy to hear that it was a good experience for
Oh yeah.
yeah all. So
At least for me, and when I talk to the other actors, but yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I miss it.
Yeah, it was
and
a
I
lot.
didn't have as hard of a job, I have to say, as like Layla or even Zoe. So they super troopers. So
do you have a favorite character from that's not you?
Besides
from the scene.
Erzulie, the
okay,
mermaid.
Erzulie. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So about my oh man, the first day we saw her, there was the makeup test, which was super freaking cool when she came in and we just saw it and I was like, wow, that's amazing. But when we shot her like emerging the first time the girls see her, oh my gosh. Oh my,
it was magical.
It was so amazing. It was so beautiful. And Layla is like perfection. And then the makeup, speaking of Roxy, I mean, I have so many videos of me like at Video Village, just like her like prepping in the water. Like I'll send them to you, but
yes,
it's magical. And it's, it's immersive for me as an actor. Like I know we're talking, I'm like, it's a mermaid, but like for Ari, it was a freaking mermaid. She saw a mermaid, like, and to like get that experience to like authentically like see something so amazing was so cool.
That was so cool. Yeah, no, that was one of the most stressful days, but also like, okay, it's gonna work. Because we had done the tests and so many moments, I would say, a few weeks before going to the property where I would freak out and text Roxy, our makeup artist, also my roommate, and be like, Roxy, what if all the makeup like melts and like goes away into the pool? Because when we tested the tail, we discovered that the paint was falling off of it because of the chlorine. You just never know what's going to happen with chlorine. Yeah. And so I was like, oh no, our mermaid is going to like decompose in the pool. Yeah, melt in the pool. And then
Roxy, rewrite it.
Yeah, Roxy is like, are you kidding me? Like, don't you think I'm a professional and I thought about all this? That is why our makeup budget is so high. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. But when she comes out and it's just, it's man, the detail, and she's so beautiful, and she just has so many layers as that character. It was very, very lovely to see. And we did interview actually Layla about the first episode actually was
I saw. Yeah.
Hopefully for those who are following along, you guys should go and listen to it because she's awesome. Yes. Well, that's good.
I also love Mrs. Lafitte. I wish she was in it more. Yeah. And it was really cool to have Tamika on set. And
there's a moment, I think several people mentioned this moment where the generations are together and it was extremely moving.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a very, very, very nice moment.
Like I can't wait for everyone to see that. And it's, like what I love about you as a filmmaker too, is like, you say so much without beating people over the head. Like people don't know what you're saying to them all the time, like until they're like, oh, that meant something, that's saying something, that means something, but it's not like written in there, like, and then this will happen. So people will feel like the power of this or the power of unity or generation. Like, it's just, like in Erzulie, it wasn't about like, oh, we have to help refugees and it's terrible. And like, you're terrible if you don't care. Like, it's not that. It's just like real people experiencing real things and like, look at them. Isn't it cool? And it is. So I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad I try. I try really hard. No, I think it helps that I am an empath. And I think ultimately what comes to a great story is the people in it and the human connection and being able to identify or not, or learn something from someone else's perspective. And I'm always about perspective, and that comes out in the way I AD, in the way I direct. It's all about perspective. I think when you are able to see things from a different point of view, you become less likely to purely react to something. You are able to really think in that person's shoes and then process everything logically in a way that won't escalate something, or like won't. I think people's lizard brain gets the best of them too much. And I think being able to like process and like understand why each character does something, and why people are the way they are is extremely, extremely fascinating.
Yeah, and that's the one of the most beautiful things about this medium and this art is just the compassion and understanding. Like, I mean, that's my job. I think it was with Zoe, you all talked about setting aside judgment.
Yes.
For character. And that's what I love about this. A teacher I had told us that the original definition of actor is a pleader of causes before a tribunal. So the idea of like you're advocating for this person, like 100% has to be judgment free. And to do that, you have to really understand them and not
impose your own beliefs onto them. Yeah, because it's so
which
easy.
Sometimes it's different,
right?
They are different beliefs sometimes, and that's okay. You don't like, that's a different person, and that's okay. And that reminds us that in real life, there's different people that believe different things, and that's okay. You can still have compassion and kindness and understanding.
Yeah, I agree. So you got to watch an earlier version of the film.
I did. Yeah.
And what were your reactions to it, or why should people care to watch the film?
I hate watching unfinished films. I need to say that right now. I didn't want to watch it. I was made to watch it. And I still enjoyed so much of it. And then I saw some improvements that were made that were amazing. So I'm really excited to see the finished product. And I know you, I believe in you and the whole team. So I know it'll be amazing. This story, we touched on it a little bit in terms of 4 dynamic, complicated women who have a true friendship. And that's based on friendship, like not, I don't know, it's real. And they're coming together. And then you add this fantasy element and supernatural stuff of like a freaking mermaid coming to life to like grant your wishes. And then the consequences of what that really means. Like, what are you wishing for? And what does it mean to your actual life if your wishes, as you state them right now, really come true? And that's so powerful and so interesting. I think this movie is great for everybody, but what I'm most passionate about is young girls that are going to get to see this and feel empowered and understood. And and just to have Erzulie rise. I want Erzulie to be like, you better watch out or I'm going to freaking summon Erzulie to
it's like the boogie monster, but the girls got Erzulie.
Yeah. And so I just want Erzulie for everyone. And I think this film will be for everyone. And I'm excited to share it and to see it.
And as a mom, are you excited that there's content such as this for women and little budding, powerful women out there?
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about this, early in my career, I wasn't as picky about things I did. And now when I've done enough things with you and with some other filmmakers that matter and say something, I feel strengthened to make the choices to only do that from now on. because that is the legacy that I want to leave behind. And this medium is so special and unique and a privilege to be a part of, that I have a voice myself, but also through the choices I make in what stories to tell. And those choices have an impact, not just on my life, but on others, like my daughter and other women. And that means so much to me, because that's my purpose in life. It's not just to be on screen or on stage. It's to like do something that matters, to help, to like help in some way. And what I care most about in the world, maybe because of where I came from and the fact that so many women don't have a voice there, it is women's voices and young girls feeling empowered. So yeah, this is special.
Yes.
And you're special.
Well, it's a long relationship that we have. We can't quit each other.
Yeah.
I love you very much.
I love you too.
Yes. Anything specifically that you would want to talk about with the film? Oh, actually, we need to really, I'm going to take this opportunity because you were part of Sea Shanty. And so I can't stress enough how grateful and indebted and appreciative and literally and figuratively indebted to our investors and our donators and our supporters for basically making this remotely possible.
Yeah. Thank you all. I'm so grateful too.
This was a dream come true to be able to have this opportunity to tell the story. And my favorite moments on set, you saw this, would be the days when the packages came in and I got to open our little
they love
gifts
us
and be like, we're gonna make it. We have 5 more snacks. We're gonna make it, guys. You guys, please say there is beef jerky.
That was such a cool idea too. I don't know which of the producers came up with that, but that was brilliant.
I'm marketing. Yeah, so
that was great.
Yeah, I didn't know
adopt a cast member and
that was me feeling
desperate.
out in the desperate. Creativity comes when you are very desperate.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, okay, what can I do so people know I'm not like blowing their money on a wrap party or something? You know?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's like literally feeding people. So, no, that was it. I cried every time I opened these boxes or looked at them and stuff. And then I cried so much, depending on like which time the month I was at, I would cry even more while making the credits. Because I physically hand typed the entire and credits, and so the amount and the number of people who donated and when the credits roll,
that speaks a lot to you. I mean, this is your movie. Like, so many people helped make it, but like, you know, as far as Sea Shanty goes, I was going to support you regardless, even if you didn't cast me. I made sure you knew that, because I did feel strongly about this story and that it needed to be made. And I think when you feel passionately about something and authentically like care about something, that comes across. So when Daryl and I would talk to others about it, it wasn't hard work. It was, it was new work, and we're so glad we made it happen, and to the other investors. But it just speaks to the quality of the film and everything that you had lined up before. I mean, to have the way this movie came about, like basically a distribution team was like, hey, write a movie and we got you. So to like start from that end, like, and go, and then Candace coming on board, and then the whole team that you had arranged, like it was a no-brainer in terms of being a part of it and helping to make it happen. And that's one of my great joys, like besides acting, is just making shit happen, like for movies, for other actors. Like I just want it to happen. I want it to work. So when I get to help with any part of the puzzle pieces fitting together, I love that so much. So I'm glad I was able to, and that everyone that came on board is excited about this too. So
Yeah.
we
did it. It's crazy. We did it. It's basically we will have our 1-year anniversary on April. Would you count the 1-year anniversary when we've wrapped the film or when we finished editing the film? When we wrapped. Okay, our 1-year anniversary from when we wrapped was April
May 13th. No, May, because we were there.
You're right. Yeah. Wow.
Day.
May. Yeah. May 13th.
Yeah.
Wait, May was May 13th.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is crazy because our May 13th event and
I thought you were doing it on purpose. Yeah.
No, I forgot. We wrapped the 13th. I keep having the May 17th in my head because that's when I went to New Orleans. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I also stayed a few days to wrap things and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. We had your birthday and we had Mother's Day, which was really special.
That was probably the best birthday I've ever had. I got to be on set doing my movie with people that I admire and got crawfish and a cake and everything.
Again.
It was a party. It was
we did it for Yasby too. It was your birthday. So maybe we should every birthday.
Every birthday we make a film. Make movies.
Forever.
Yeah, no, that was it's I think it's fun to reminisce on how far we've come. Remember when we did Ya Albi that everything fit in my car, or more like Adam's car, in a Prius.
Yeah.
So
they do fit a lot. Priuses are great.
Priuses are pretty amazing. Priuses are great cars. Yes, but we packed.
And now we had like a grip truck.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, we have our own grip truck and like real people that like do the But the first
most amazing crew, we really did.
Yeah, we didn't even have a grip. We didn't have a gaffer for Yalby. It was
Nicholas.
No, you're right. Nathan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nathan, I'm sorry.
Yes, Nathan. Yes, we did have. Thank God. I was like, how did we get through this?
Sorry.
Yes, we did. But it was like all our equipment that we could fit in the car, basically.
Yeah.
And same kind of concept, lived and breathed and with each other 24/7 and create something beautiful. And here we are with 30-person crew and our own grip truck and and it's got distribution, which is awesome.
It comes out June 14th.
June 14th for those who are listening. We will make an official announcement and make sure to go sign up on ErzuliFilm.com because that's where we're choosing winners from there to get like a pre-download of the film on iTunes and maybe tickets to an event type thing. So make sure to sign up. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited. I've lived with this film for so long that it's hard to have perspective anymore about it. I mean, the last few months, and it still continues right now because I'm cutting sizzles and stuff like that. And it's hard to see anything beyond notes. All I get is notes about what I needed to do and change and update and whatnot. So it will be fun to be able to see how different kinds of people react to the film. So, and then this is not just the only one. There's going to be a sequel. So, yes, I on my way from Austin to LA driving the U-Haul, I started to have ideas. So I was
I can't wait.
Texting Camille. So, yes. So we're going to go international. That's what I know. Yeah. So, yes.
This story is so accessible. So I believe it.
Yay. Yeah. Do you have anything else that you would like to tell people about Erzulie, why they should watch it, how awesome you are, anything before we take this for a landing?
It's just, I was just looking at all the photos of each day, and it was such an amazing experience with such cool people. And when you get to do that, generally it's not filmed, like you don't have it captured. And we made a movie. Like, we didn't just get together and have an amazing time together as people, but we made it a movie that means something and that looks really freaking cool. And I really think everyone will love it. So yeah, come support it. Order the iTunes pre-sale. Like, if you sign up to do that, that is so freaking helpful and will help like launch the movie. We're not going to open with Marvel movies, but there's been movies in the past that they started small, and because of word of mouth, they can make it really big. And I think this has the potential to do that. And every single person that cares enough to watch this and to support ErzuliFilm.com and to pre-order it can really super make a difference. And you get to watch the movie, which is awesome.
It's a bonus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, that's it. Yeah. Go to ErzuliFilm.com to go in pre-sales, and our goal, and putting this into the universe, into the world, is that I really want this to be a cult classic. Camille and I, when we wrote it, our dream is that little girls will dress up like Erzulie, and that, or they'll want to be a certain character that they identify with. The little Wendy's or little Aries and stuff like that.
I love Wendy.
And I think this is a film that I hope that, yes, ErzuliFilm.com. Yes. Oh no, you missed a Z, ErzuliFilm.com. Erzulie. It's like pronounced like Ursula, Erzulie. And so, and I want this to be a film where like girls have a sleepover, they watch it with their friends, then let's say 10 years later, they start adulting and life happens, yet they can come back together, have a reunion, kind of like the girls did. Meet up together at a cabin and watch Erzulie, because it reminds them of a time when they were together, had each other's backs, and are each other's ride or dies. I think I'm lucky to have friends in this world that are like that, that I would love to share like a tradition with, and so that would be. So yes, we want it to be a cult. We want women everywhere to feel like they're heard, that women don't have to be perfect, that we're beautiful, being who we are, and in all our intricacies and all our traumas and all our life experiences is what makes us who we are. We're more than just the side girlfriend character. We're more than just, the no depth person who's perfect and beautiful and wakes up perfect. We're humans, and I want women out there to know that there's a film for you guys. So. All right. So besides that, make sure to go and get a copy of Get Reelisms book. Usually I would have one somewhere, but
I have 3 downstairs.
Oh, damn. Yeah, no, it's somewhere. GetReelisms.com. And to get all your education about how to behave yourself on a film set and succeed. And also remember to sign up at ErzuliFilm.com. That is where we're going to update things. And we also, that's also our handle for Instagram and for Twitter. Oh no, so we don't have Twitter. Instagram and for Facebook. I don't understand Twitter, so yeah.
Well, this is my first Instagram live, so.
And you guys got to see Diana for her first time on Instagram Live. She was going to promptly delete this app afterwards.
As soon as we're done.
So this is your only opportunity. So yes. I love you so much.
I love you so much.
And I cannot stress how much it means to me to be able to work with somebody like you.
No,
So,
likewise.
And to have you in my life as such a great friend. So, isn't it great? We get to make movies.
I know.
BFFs and have fun.
I'm the luckiest. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
We're so lucky.
Amazing. I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to you and this whole film, everyone in it. Courtney, Elizabeth, Zoe, Layla, to meet that. I miss you guys. I love you.
And watch out next week. We've got Wendy, Courtney interview. Same time, Sunday. And and then right after that, we've got Elizabeth. I wanted, there was a pause there because I was trying to say Violet, but then I wanted to say Elizabeth. But then Violet's name also reminds me of my friend's name, Vivi, because her name is Violetta. And so I was like, there's three names I was like trying to say at the same time.
Yeah.
So. Yes.
Brain.
Yeah. Yes. And thank you guys for watching Instagram. Thank you, Melissa, for all your lovely comments. And hopefully join us next week as well. We really appreciate it. And GetReelisms.com and ErzuliFilm.com, and have a great rest of your Sunday.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Bye.